So we don't have much time. I'm going to go through the Hajj now, inshallah. So the pillars of Hajj. How many pillars are there? 4. You don't have to write down because I'm going to give you these little pocket guides. It has everything that I'm going to say to you now in here. So if you're not a studious person, if you don't like to study, if you don't want to read the big book on Hajj, and you're not ready, you're busy, that's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. Alright, so I'll give you some of those before we go today, inshallah. So what are the pillars of Hajj? The first one is ihram with the intention, the niyyah, the intention, the right, correct intention. So even if you didn't have the ihram clothes on, you must make the intention. So let's, for argument's sake, say you don't have an ihram, you can't find one. You're allowed to go with your pants and shirt, but you must make the intention. See? The second pillar is standing at Arafah. You must be on Arafah on the day of Arafah. If you're not there, you've missed it.
You have to be standing.
No, you don't have to be standing. Standing at Arafah is a term they use, wuquf. It's just, Prophet ﷺ used to stand the whole day, but being on Arafah is more accurately described. The third pillar is tawaf al-ifada. We talked about that. For the sisters, remember this, very important, sisters. As a matter of fact, if you want to use our flyers, you can take our flyer, because the flyer actually gives you a better way of working out. In this green part here is the days you need to know, am I in and out of those days, alright? So you can use that to give you an idea of how to work out your cycle. Tawaf al-ifada, and the fourth. Switch me off. Alright. The fourth. Don't ask why, huh? That's a guy's upstairs. The fourth pillar is the sa'i for Hajj. You must perform the sa'i for Hajj. So these are the 4 pillars. Your Hajj is not completed until you've done all 4. Who can tell me how many obligatory rites of Hajj are there? These are the wajib acts. If you miss one of the pillars, Hajj is not complete. If you miss one of these, you have to pay fidyah. You have to sacrifice a sheep. How many of these are there? Every question during Hajj, when they ask a number, besides the pillars, is 7. Every question during Hajj, how many rounds for tawaf? 7. How many for sa'i? 7. How many stones? 7. How many obligatory rites? 7. The only answer that is not 7 is the pillars. Alright? So the first rite is the ihram at the miqat. The pillar is the intention. The wajib is at the right place. As the brother asked, if we're going out to Medina again, you're going at Dhul Hulayfa. Now, if you're going from Dhul Hulayfa, Makkah, you're going from Medina straight to Makkah to perform Umrah, and it's close to Hajj, all you have to do is cut your hair. You don't even have to come out of the clothes, and then you just make your intention again. The second one is being at Arafah until sunset. The third one is to spend the night, or at least part of the night, in Muzdalifah. So you can't skip Muzdalifah, brothers and sisters. Please don't skip Muzdalifah. Because Allah says in the Quran, when you leave Arafah, remember Allah at Mashar al-Haram, which is in Muzdalifah. So there's no argument about whether you should go to Muzdalifah. It doesn't matter which madhab you follow. There's nothing that can say to you, you don't have to go to Muzdalifah, when the ayah clearly tells you where to go. So remember that. The fourth one is to throw the jamarat. The fifth one is to shave or cut your hair. So you must shave or cut your hair. Alright? There's a problem with iPhones. Right? Everybody's phone sounds the same. Talking about phones, do you take your phone with you? Do you take your phone with you? Yeah, you can take your phone, but don't take your iPhone. The reason is, if you don't take your iPhone, you can take your iPhone if you want to read from it, and you're not going to walk around with it. Now, I was in London last year, and I said to the brother, don't take your iPhone. He said, he must have thought, what an idiot. And I said to him, there's a couple of reasons why you don't take your iPhone. I don't take my iPhone because I move around a lot, and I'm afraid I'm going to drop it and I'm going to break it. But the funny thing is about the iPhone is that if you're not used to wearing a thobe, or any phone for that matter, if you're not used to wearing a thobe, you forget that you've got your phone in your pocket, right? So what you do, you take your thobe off. We're not like the ladies, they have a way of taking this stuff off, because they do it all the time. So we take it off, and you lift it up, and where's your phone? And I told the brother, if you're taking it on Hajj, don't take it to Mina with you. So when he took it to Mina with him, he went into the bathroom, took off his stove. Where was the phone? In the toilet. It was gone. So you can take a cheap phone. SIM cards are cheap there, so rather take a cheap phone. But the iPhone is good if you want to read from it, Quran and stuff like this. Maybe take the iPad. Alright. To shave or cut your hair. Is it better to shave or better to cut? Better to cut? Shave. Shave is 3 times better. Now brothers, remember, you don't need your wife's permission to shave your head. Don't ask her. Don't ask her. She's going to say no. But it's good for her because she'll know what you look like in 10 years' time. Oh man, are you going to look like that? Oh, I need to make a plan. You need to go to Ashley and Martin. Huh?
One thing there, because we have to do an Umrah first.
Yep.
So after Umrah,
just cut.
just not to shave.
Yes. It's more, you get more reward for shaving every hair that drops. For shaving at Hajj, there is a reward for it. So if you're there for a very short time, just cut during Umrah and shave at Hajj time. If you're one of those hairy guys, and your hair grows really quickly, if you're there for 3 weeks and you're going to shave it and it's going to grow very quickly, then alhamdulillah, then you can have lots of hair. If you don't have any hair already, well, it doesn't really matter. And the other thing is about shaving is you save on shampoo for at least 2 months. Alright, to shave or cut your hair. Number 6, to spend the nights of Tashriq in Mina. And then number 7, to perform Tawaf al-Wida. Menstruating women may omit this without expiation. So if the ladies are in the menses, they don't have to perform Wida. Don't confuse Wida with Ifada. Tawaf al-Ifada is a pillar. Tawaf al-Wida, which is the farewell Tawaf, the last Tawaf you do, is that one.
The question here again, to spend the nights of Tashriq.
Yep.
So night of Tashriq are 3 days. 3 nights.
Yes, but you can leave after, you'll be there on the night of the 10th and the night of the 11th. And if you stay till the 12th, you can stay. But if you want to leave on the 12th, you can leave. Because the ayah in Surah Baqarah says, for those who choose to stay 2 days, there's nothing wrong if they leave. But the nights of Tashriq. But you've got to stay. You can't suddenly decide, I'm from this particular madhab that says, I can stay in Azizia. Azizia is not part of Mina. So I can tell you brothers, you'll accept any fatwa. Sometimes think it's so bad, they'll say, this is Makkah brother. Yeah, it's Makkah. You can pray here. You get all this. You can pray the same reward. Even pray in the Hilton. The brothers pray in the Hilton. The Hilton Hotel has a floor, even Zamzam, they all have these huge sections inside the shopping center that has a place for Salah. Now don't you think it's quite ridiculous that you spend 7 grand to go to Makkah and you pray in the shopping center? Just because you're lazy to go to the Haram. Or you say, oh, it's full, oh, it's hot, it's not. You're wasting your money. So, yes, these are the 7 obligatory rights. So, okay, we'll just go through this. This is the extra. These are extra. There's no penalty if you didn't do these. To be in Mina on the 8th, reciting the Talbiyah, 5 salawats in Mina, and performing Tawaf and Ifada and Sa'i on the 10th. Alright? Okay, so we'll just go through this quickly because we just don't have much time. So I just want to go. Is Hajj 6 days, 5 days, or 4 days?
5. 6 days.
6, 5, 4. Do I have 7?
6.
Sold? Alright. It's all 3. 6 days from the 8th to the 13th. 5 days from the 8th to the 12th, or from the 9th to the 13th. And 4 days from the 9th to the 12th. So all 3 are allowed. What did the Prophet ﷺ do? 6 days. What is the most common that most groups do? 5 days. Alright? I just want to go through these because these are the kilometers, you get it in there. I just want to. Alright, the Hajj flows. So day 1, what we do is we go to Mina, then we go to Arafah, then we go to Muzdalifah, then we go back to Mina, then we go to Makkah, then we go back to Makkah, back to Mina, and then back to Makkah, and we're done. Alright, Assalamu alaikum. Huh? Too easy? Too fast? Alright, let's go slow. Step, day 1. 8th of Dhul Hijjah. We adopt the Ihram with Niyyah for Hajj, and we go now, depart Makkah or Azizia for Mina. So if you're in Azizia, on Makkah, we'll put on our Ihram right where we are. We don't have to go to the Miqat now. This is now our Miqat. And then we'll adopt our ihram there in Mina, in Azizia. For the short package, they're normally in Makkah. And we go to Mina on the 8th of Dhul Hijjah, is known as Yawm al-Tarwiyah. So what do we do in Mina on that day? We perform 5 salawat there. Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha and Fajr. 4 is shortened to 2. So Dhuhr is 2, Asr is 2 and Isha is 2. This is where all the argument starts. Alright? Am I traveler? Not traveler. I've been here 15 days. I've been here 3 days. I'm given 20 days. Okay. So, what is the answer? The Quran doesn't tell you about this. Now, when the Prophet ﷺ did perform Hajj once, what did he do in Mina? He shortened it. But then somebody argues he just come from Medina he's a traveler, right? Okay. So, on the 7th, the Prophet ﷺ was in Makkah. He led the prayer. And he said to the people behind him, I am a traveler. When I finish my 2, continue to make 4. The next day, he was in Mina. He prayed 2 and didn't tell the people behind him to continue. And the people from Makkah that was with him prayed 2. So you'll notice that on the 8th of Dhul Hijjah, the salah is a particular way. And the 9th of Dhul Hijjah, the salah is even different. On Arafah, the salah is even different. What is different about the salah on Arafah? Asr and Dhuhr is joined at Dhuhr time, and Maghrib and Isha is prayed where? In Muzdalifah. Why? Because the salah for Hajj is unique for Hajj. The salah for Hajj is not related to traveling. It is not related that you are musafir or not. So the argument of 15 days or 3 days doesn't come in. The salah for Hajj is unique to Hajj itself. So even the brothers who argue that in Arafah they don't join Asr with Dhuhr, for whatever reason they have that argument, but they join Maghrib with Isha in Muzdalifah. So they contradict themselves by saying, based on their logic, I'm not a traveler, so I can't join my Asr with my Dhuhr, but they do join their Maghrib with the Isha in Muzdalifah, because they follow the instruction of the Prophet ﷺ. So they follow half the instruction. Alright, so it's very important. Remember, at the end of the day, if I'm wrong or anybody's wrong or whatever, what do we then do if we have a difference of opinion or understanding? What is the best thing for us to do? We can have all different logic. All of us sitting here will each find a reason for a certain method we want to follow. But what the Prophet ﷺ always said to us, when you come, any dispute or anything, you come back to Quran and Sunnah. So let's take everybody's argument is valid, but we have different opinions. So what happens is, we come back, just ask yourself, what did the Prophet ﷺ do? What did he do in Mina? And if you follow that, simply because that's what he did, you covered. Alright? So we prepare for Arafah. Day 2. This is the most important day, brothers and sisters. This is the most important day. Arafah. For everything you've spent, all the money you've spent, all the time you sit, this time you're sitting here listening to me, all boils down to that day. And a few hours. Not even the whole day. A few hours. From the time the khutbah happens, they pray Dhuhr and Asr until Maghrib. So let's say Dhuhr is at 1 o'clock. So by 1:30 you'll be finished, and Maghrib is at 5:30. You have what, 4 hours? 5 or 4? 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, 5:30. If you paid $8,000 for your Hajj package, it's $2,000 an hour. If you eat for an hour, it's $2,000 lunch. If you sleep for an hour, it's a $2,000 nap. Everything boils down to that 4 hours. So what do we do there, brothers? There's your appointment. 22 kilometers from Makkah, 9th Dhul Hijjah, 2 pieces of cloth. Attendance is free of charge, but you have to pay to get there. Please confirm your booking. Have you confirmed your booking? Are you ready? Made your intention? Firm, made your intention? You going? Inshallah. Is that a real inshallah, or is that one of those inshallah inshallahs? You know those ones that they say when they say inshallah, oh no, it's not going to happen. That's how bad we've become. Alright, so what happens is, brothers, oh yes, the Saudis put some water there for us to keep us cool. Prophet ﷺ said, Hajj is Arafah. So what we do is, you listen to the khutbah, we perform Dhuhr and Asr join and shorten to 2 each.
Listen to khutbah. So khutbah we can't listen.
Yeah.
Because khutbah is given there. We are here.
Yep.
How can we get the khutbah?
You are here.
No, the khutbah is given there.
Alright.
But we're in the tent.
Alright, you're going to have to join my tent so you can listen to the khutbah. If brothers, if you see me, for those brothers going with Labbaik, if you see us in Mina, because we're in the same camp in Mina, and if I don't greet you or ignore you, I'm not doing it intentionally. Just come up to me and greet me, because sometimes we're busy. So don't. Sometimes I see brothers and they feel like I'm ignoring them or whatever. It's not true. Just come up, talk to me. I'll come to your tent and have a chat and everything. What we do is we actually provide radios in our camp with this, so we can actually listen to the khutbah through the radio. In other camps, they make their own khutbahs. It's another issue whether, so we won't get into that, we don't have much time for that. Now, I asked you, why do we take Asr to Dhuhr? Maghrib to Isha? Why? Is Allah giving you this opportunity? This is the only time in your life, brother, where you have removed, Allah has removed from you 2 fard obligations at its prescribed time. For the brothers, the sisters during the monthly they don't have to pray, so they don't have this obligation on them. This is the only time in your life that Allah has removed from you 2 fard obligations at His prescribed time. It's on day of Arafah to take Dhuhr to Asr to Dhuhr and Maghrib to Isha. Just think about it this way. I invite you to a very important meeting. I say I'm going to meet with you this afternoon, Said. We're going to meet from 3 to 5. But at 4 o'clock, you normally have another important appointment that I've given you. I'm your boss. But I need you to come and talk to me. It's very important. But I want you to come between 3 and 5. But I tell you what, I'll also remove the meeting from 4 o'clock. I'll cancel that meeting for you. Or I'll move it to later. Because it's an important time for us to get to. I need to talk to you about important things. That is what Allah has done for us. Allah has moved the 2 fard obligations like this, so that the time spent on wuquf is only between you and Allah. You have no other fard obligation except talking to your Creator. That is the reason the salah is moved. Not because you're a traveler or whatever. It is moved for a purpose. So you don't have to worry about praying Asr. You don't have to worry about praying Dhuhr. All you have to do is worry about talking to Allah. And what is the reason? Look at it this, brothers. Now wuquf starts after the salah of Asr. So this is when Arafah actually starts, not in the morning. So if you get there early and you're tired, sleep. Because after the salah, this is when the wukuf actually starts. It is not a picnic, brothers. What are you supposed to do there? Supplicate, 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 supplicate. It is not a time for reading Quran. It is not a time for making nafil salah. It is not a time for eating. It is not a time for sleeping. It is not a time for lessons. As a matter of fact, if the Shaykh wants to give a lesson, tell him to give the lesson outside. This time is a special time that Allah has given you to do what? To talk to Allah. What is it you want? So this is, where do we get this from? Prophet ﷺ said one of the best dua to read in Arafah is this one. La ilaha illallah wa la sharika la, lahul mulk wa lahul hamdu wa ala kulli shay'in qadir. None has the right to be worshipped except Allah alone without partner. To Him belongs all praise and sovereignty, and He is over all things omnipotent. Now, you know when people say to you, pray for me, when you go, make dua for me when you go for Hajj. How many people say that to you?
Many of them.
Huh? Many of them, right? So I'll teach you something today. On Arafah, on no other day does Allah set free as many of His servants from the fire as on the day of Arafah. On that day, He is face to face with His servants and is proud before the angels of the pilgrims and says, now imagine, I'm your boss. I invited you to the meeting. I said, Said, sit down there. I own the company. It's a very rich company. We've got lots of money. We're from Western Australia. We're a mining company. We've got big bucks, billions. You're one of the best workers. Say, Said, tell me what do you want? Tell me what conditions you want for the work. You say, oh, I don't want to work Mondays. I don't want to work Fridays. I want to work half days. I want a company car. I want a mobile phone. All of these things. I mean, I have the ability to grant you all of that. So you ask me what you want. I say to you, ask me whatever you want. You're such a good worker for the last 5 years, I'll give you whatever you want. Won't you ask whatever you want? Because you feel that person can give it to you, right? Our Creator says to us, on this day, what do you want? Allah has just moved from you, Asr to Dhuhr, Maghrib to Isha, and said to you, please come, I've invited you. You said, Labbaik, I am here. And Allah says to you, what do you want? Allah can give you anything and everything. Allah says, what do you want, Habibi? And what do? We talk, we sleep, we eat. Whereas we should take this opportunity, open our hearts and make dua with sincerity, brothers. Our brothers in Somalia, Libya, Syria, all of these places need our dua like no other time. You know the power of dua? This is the most powerful thing the Muslims have. This day is insurmountable. You cannot put money on this day. Imagine, can you meet the Prime Minister of somebody to go and ask whatever? You can't even meet some Saudi guy to give you money. That's how important they are. The Creator tells us, I've invited you, please come. I will give you whatever you want. The condition is you need to ask with sincerity and you need to believe what you're asking. I'll tell you, one year, brothers, the Sheikh of the Haram, the Sheikh that makes the khutbah in Arafah, and as I said before, it's always a hot day. He prayed for rain during the khutbah. I tell you, there's absolutely no clouds. During his khutbah, he prayed for rain. Within half an hour after the khutbah, it rained. Now imagine you're on a desolate mountain, the clouds start gathering and it starts raining. And you know 100% it's just because this Shaykh made a sincere dua for the rain. You can feel and see the presence of Allah there. You cannot imagine, brothers and sisters, how beautiful and powerful this day is. That is the reason why when somebody says to you, can you make dua for me by name? You have to remember it. Because there's the time when somebody goes for Hajj, you say, brother, make dua for me by name, and ask for something specific. If you're not well, you say, please brother, make dua for me by name. So that's what I do. I walk around with a little book, and if people say to me, I write it down on my book so that I can remember for the people, because I understand, you have to understand how powerful this day is, the appointment you have with your Creator. But if you're going to lay down there and sleep, you're not going to meet that appointment with your Creator. On the day of judgment, this is what will save you. Allah will remove you from the fire. That's all you ask, to be removed from the fire. So please, brothers and sisters, if there's one thing you want to remember from today, this is it. And I take my favor back from you for my time I spent here today. You need to make dua for me on Arafah by name, for me and my family. Well, last year, a brother from Labbaik, one of my friends from Sydney, he invited me to the Labbaik tent to come and give a talk. So I was talking to a few of the brothers there, and then he came to me, asked me a very profound question which nobody ever asked me before. He said to me, Brother Ismail, you always say to us, make dua for you on Arafah. What is the dua you want me to make for you? He said to me. And and for a moment I thought, besides the obvious things you want, health and good health and wealth and all of the things that we all want for the dunya, I thought about it for a moment, but it just came to me, and I said to him, make dua for me, for Allah to always grant me the health and strength and ability to do this work fi sabilillah, for the sake of Allah, because that's what I do. I have no financial interest or anything in any of this. I do this for the sake of Allah. Everything I do for my own, for the sake of Allah. So I asked him to make that dua, and alhamdulillah, Don't forget, brothers and sisters, one of the du'as we forget about is to ask Allah to bring you back for Hajj again, or for Umrah. And then also, brothers, don't forget to make dua for one of the closest persons to you. Who's that? Your wife. We never forget our parents. We never forget our kids. But we tend to forget our wives. Why is that? Same with the sisters. Maybe they're ready to make dua for their husband. Oh Allah, give him time, give him some more time to spend time with me. Sisters always have a long list for the husbands. But this is an opportunity, brothers and sisters, to ask whatever that you want. To get it, and you'll get it. Believe me, you'll see the proof of that. And don't forget to also ask for Allah to give you the sincerity to benefit from this Hajj. Not to come out of this Hajj worse than when you went into it. Alright? So then after Arafah, we go down to Muzdalifah. So after sunset, we depart to Muzdalifah. We don't pray Maghrib and Arafah as we said. So when we get to Muzdalifah, we join Maghrib and Isha. We pray 2 rakahs for two adhans. No, 2 adhans, 1 adhan, 2 iqamas, sorry. We pray Maghrib 3 and Isha 2. And then we also pray witr. And the rest of the night is to rest and sleep. Alright? So now we on day that we pick up some stones there. There's Imran. Have you seen it? Did you see Imran upstairs? Imran, he was just upstairs, yeah. So we pick up stones. One of the best things to put your stones in is this bottle. You know the water bottle? If you don't have something to put the stones in, you don't have to wash the stones, by the way. There's other Imran. That's Muhsin's wife. That's Imran's wife. There is Imran. So I put the Brisbane pictures so you can feel it. I don't know brothers from here, from the mosque. Yeah. Alright, so we're on day 3 now. We went to Arafah, we slept in Muzdalifah, and now we're going back to Mina. But before we go to Mina, on day 3, this is known as Yawm al-Hajj al-Akbar, this day. In the Quran it's referred to as Yawm al-Hajj al-Akbar. And the reason for that is because we have to do quite a few things on this day. We perform Fajr in Muzdalifah. Then we pray the Sunnah for Fajr as well. Then we supplicate. Then we leave for Mina before sunrise. We collect the pebbles on our way, or if we haven't collected them before, and we proceed to the Jamrah. So we throw only the big Jamrah on this day. So this is what we do. 5 actions to be done. We throw the big Jamrah, 7 stones. We perform the sacrifice. And the brothers left now that asked the question. Who asked the question about whether we know the name? The brothers left here. Okay. Then we cut our hair. Then we perform Tawaf al-Ifada. And then we perform Sa'i for Hajj. Those are the 5 things we need to do. Alright? I'll just go because these are just pictures of what we need to do. There's just some pictures of some bald heads. Have you seen yourself bald? One of my friends from Perth has gone to Umrah and he was going, he doesn't know if his hair is going to grow back. He's afraid to cut his hair because he doesn't know if it's going to grow back. There's always a risk it won't grow back, right? No, hair always grows back. If you're bald when you start, you can't expect it to grow back. But if you had hair when you had, so, pardon?
Not in 3 days.
Not in 3 days, no. Mine takes like 3 months to grow back. Yeah. So this is the hadith. Prophet ﷺ made dua 3 times for those who shave the head. So you get 3 times the reward. I was wondering how come there's that sound on my slide. Alright? So this is the question the brother was asking. We need to do those 5 things. But is the order important? This is the order the Prophet ﷺ did it in. So what happens is people make instructions where they force themselves into a particular rule when Prophet ﷺ gave them a way out. But when there's no way out, they take a way out. So the Prophet ﷺ said on that day that the order can be done in any order. The hadith is very clear. On that day, the Prophet, a man came and he said, I forgot I had my head shaved before slaughtering the hadi. So exactly the question. He doesn't know when the sheep's going to get done. So can I get my head shaved? What did the Prophet ﷺ say? There is no harm. Do the slaughtering now. And then they said on that day when people came and they said, Prophet ﷺ, we did this, before that, in that particular order, they mixed it up. Prophet ﷺ, there is no harm in doing it now. So the order is not a specific rule. So you can do the things out of its order based on your circumstances where you are. As a matter of fact, we sometimes send the sisters, like let's say the sister's menstruation is going to start the next day. We send them directly from Muzdalifah to Makkah with the husband. So you go to Makkah and can perform Tawaf al-Ifadah.
Okay, so then let me ask one question now.
Sure.
Sir, if I'm going there and I want to own the hotel,
you wait till it quiets. If you're leaving on the 14th, you can delay it until it's convenient for you. If you're elderly, if you're sick, you can delay it, but you have to do it.
Yeah, I have to do it.
Like if your wife is still on menstruation, then the reason we're fast tracking it is so that she gets it done.
Yeah.
She gets it done. But like say if your wife is old and she doesn't get a menstruation anymore, then you don't have that problem. Or if you're by yourself, you don't have that problem. And if you don't want to go when it's crowded like that, you can delay it a little bit. Alright? So don't stress out about waiting for the guy to call you up. And I can tell you the guy that's calling up, he doesn't know. Unless he did it himself, I can tell you he doesn't know. And the way the Australian camp is, we can take you for the slaughter, we can show you how it's done. Show you how it's done. It's not for the faint-hearted though. Alright, after you slaughtered, you cut your hair, you now read the takbir. You know the Eid takbir? This is when the talbiyah stops and we start reading the takbir. So where are we now? Day 4? So what do we do on day 4? The ihram restrictions is lifted. Once you've cut your hair, you can now perfume yourself and put on your new clothes. You can go to Makkah to perform ifadah and sa'i. And once you perform tawaf ifadah and sa'i, all ihram restrictions are lifted from you. Alright? So you return to Mina, where you should spend the next 2 or 3 nights.
So if somebody doesn't spend those 2 or 3 nights in Mina, then
you have to pay. Remember, it's one of the obligatory acts.
For each night?
No, just once.
One for
the night, yeah. No, but if you're sick, say like you're sick or something, the scholars say, if you intentionally say, I'm not staying, because it's more comfortable in Makkah or Azizah, you have to pay.
There was an incident where one of the tour guides said that because the Australian camp is actually outside the boundary of Mina, so therefore his opinion was it made no difference whether you stayed at that camp because it's already outside of Mina or whether you stayed back in Makkah in the hotel.
Alright, so the reason...
So many people took the easier option.
Yep. I can guarantee you, as I said, fatwa shopping, as they call it. And you'll get all sorts of... This is typical what people do. And you go, whew, beautiful, I'm out of here. Right? You're going to ask yourself, let me just think this through for a moment. There's some of the camps that's outside the boundary of Mina. The reason is because that's where the Saudis put you. They put you in that camp and because it's full there, right? Now if the mosque, if tonight the Tarawih is full and we're all in the car park there, we're standing in the line of the car park. Did you come to mosque? Are you in the mosque?
Yes.
Are you part of the Jama'ah? Right?
You may not be in the mosque, but you're part of the Jama'ah.
Yes, you're part of the Jama'ah because you are part of the flow. Now if you're going to pray opposite them at the station, are you part of it? No, same scenario. If you stay in Mina, but you are there not by choice, you didn't choose to be in this particular camp, that's where they put you, but you are technically in Mina. You now choose to go to Makkah. You've actually now chosen to be outside the boundary.
So it was intentional, and none of them stayed for any of the nights in
The problem is, brothers and sisters, I want you to think for this for a moment. You're going to spend at least 7 grand. And that 7 grand is not for the 3 weeks before Hajj, it's for those 5 days. Why do you want to cut corners during those 5 days?
The question is, what's the expiation?
The expiation is one sheep. And if you did it, say you're one of those, you can still pay that fidya now. If you go again, you can still pay that fidya. Make it and say my intention is for that time, even though I didn't know. Remember the person...
It has to be done there?
You
can't do it here?
No. So the fidya is important, it has to be done there. You can't do the fidya in your own home country, no, it has to be done there.
And could you do it on behalf of others who are also in that position?
You can. This is sadaqah for you.
No, I mean you mention it to them and say this is the issue.
Yes. And some would say, that guy's talking nonsense. It's $100. Out of the 7,000, and when they went, it was probably 8,000, right? It's the relative how much percentage of that is to make sure. It's like, to take the analogy, when we're in salah, if you make a mistake in salah, what do you do? We make sujood al-sahw. We make 2 extra sujoods at the end. Is this a penalty? Is it a penalty?
Yeah.
No. It is an expiation. It's a method of fixing. Allah gives you the opportunity to correct. Right? Hajj is the same. The fidya is not a penalty. It is an expiation. It is a means to correct something you've done wrong. The only penalty in Hajj is marital relations during Ihram. That's the only penalty in Hajj. Imagine Allah takes you and says, come to me, and then Allah penalizes you for all the things. It is an expiation. It's allowed. It says, let's say you were sick. You weren't well, and we have a lot of that. People go to Makkah or to Azizia, they pay the expiation. Some of the scholars even say they don't have to pay the expiation because they are sick. But if you choose, maybe you're not 100%, or you, example, your wife's sick, and you need to go with her as a mahram. It's an example. Then it's best for you to pay the expiation because you intentionally didn't stay, even though there was a reason for it. So Allah gives you that opportunity to fix it. When you make a mistake in salah, you make the sujood al-sahw to correct it, to fix it up. That's what the expiation is for. So remember that for the purpose. We have many of people in that situation. Even when we used to live in Saudi, for tawaf al-wida, the Sheikh told us, you have to perform tawaf al-wida even when we live in Jeddah. So we missed it by intention. We just went because we were lazy and we didn't, it was too crowded. But once we learned how important it was, we went to pay. Paid the fidya to fix up that Hajj.
That's to be done there, isn't it?
Yes. So if you're not going, you can give the money to somebody and say, please there, can you give a fidya in my name for correcting that thing that I've done. Even though you did it because somebody else advised you, you can still argue that it's not incumbent on you because you took the advice from somebody. Right? But play it safe. On the day of Qiyamah, you don't want this little gap there, and that it could be just that sincere action of yours that makes that Hajj accepted. Maybe there's so many other things we did wrong during that Hajj, but that sincere action now, 5 years later, to wish that you did something better and you want it accepted, is it what may just get you over the line. That's what we need to remember. It's those small moments with complete sincerity. You can give $5 with complete sincerity versus somebody gives $1 million. Who gets more reward? The $5. Alright, we're running out of time. So this is the sa'i. Remember, Safa to Marwa is 1, and then Marwa back to Safa is 2. So you have to finish the sa'i at Marwa. All of the points I'm mentioning is in the pocket guide. And if you want, I have the DVD, or you can come to Sydney on the 18th of September when I do this again, inshallah. Or you can come to the UK the week after, inshallah. Alright, so now see, this is a South African camp. This actually gives you, see how everybody's happy. Why are all these guys laughing like that? Because you cannot imagine how happy you will be on these days. Because you're now finished. All of the major manasiks done. You actually feel relieved. And everybody's smiling. Now everybody gives you a chance to, they actually want to share food. They're happy to sleep next to you. They don't worry about you snoring anymore. They give you space in the toilet queues. People are really nice after this. You wonder what happened to them before that. Everybody's stressed out. Everybody is really, really anxious. Alright? So day 4, all we do on this day is throw the jamarat. So we throw all 3 jamarat. We need 21 stones. We start at the small jamarat. And we throw 7 stones. So the best thing to do is, brothers and sisters, take 7 stones, put the 7 stones in your left hand, and then throw them one at a time. So you don't have to worry about counting. So once your hand's empty, you've done. So when you go to the next thing, you take 7 stones out of your pocket, put them in your left hand, and you just take them out of your hand one at a time, and then throw the jamarat. So why do we throw the jamarat? I talked to the non-Muslims last week and I explained this to them. Why do we throw the jamarat?
It is a symbol.
Symbol of what?
Symbol of
What happened there?
that Satan
Tried to make Ibrahim change his mind. So when Ibrahim threw the stones and we said, go away, I'm not going to listen to you. That's the reason we throw the jamarat. We are saying to you, go away, I'm not listening to you anymore. I'm not going to get you to waswas in my ear anymore. So you're telling shaitan, go away, we are not buddies anymore. We're breaking up now. We are not friends. I don't want to see you anymore. Alright? So that's what we do on day 4. We started the small one. After that, we go to the side, we face Qibla, we supplicate. We do the same thing in the middle Jamara. We go to the side and supplicate. But when we come to the big Jamara, there is no supplication. There's a picture of the Jamara. So step day 5 is the same as day 4. Exactly the same. But if you plan to leave to go only 2 days, you need to leave before Maghrib from Mina. Okay? But if you get caught in the traffic, let's say you decide to leave, but you get caught in the traffic at Maghrib time, you can still leave. Okay? Day 6, we do the same as before. Isn't that a beautiful sight, brothers and sisters? Now after day 6 we go to Makkah, and now we perform Sa'i and Tawaf al-Ifada and Sa'i. If we haven't done it before, we can do it here. If you're going home, and this is the last thing you do, you can join the Tawaf al-Ifada and Wida.
No, but I will not go home at that time. I will go home after 7 days.
Okay, and then you perform Ifada, Sa'i. You can wait, yeah. You're allowed to do that. Yes. Yes. Yes, you're allowed to do that. Once you can actually cut your hair. As soon as you throw the Jamrah, you can cut your hair and then all of that, and then you can go, alright? And then what we do is perform Tawaf al-Wida. You'll see during Hajj time, they lift this up to cover it up like that. And part of the reason they lift this up is because people actually lean towards the Kaaba and they cut out pieces of the cloth. And like as they're leaning against the Kaaba, they're cutting out a piece to bring it back with them. So people do funny things. Please don't let us catch you doing the funny things, I'll report you. Okay, so can you see that there? This is the Hijr. What's that there? Yeah, but can you see those green things in there? Can you see it?
What?
Those are bodies. Those are janazas. If you stand on the top, if you go to the roof, sisters during the Hajj time, they open the roof for the sisters. This is the only time the roof is open for the sisters. Go up there for Fajr or Maghrib or Isha, it is beautiful. You just stand up there and look down. You don't want to go back to your room. You just want to sit there. Sometimes we sit there and we just look at the place. It's just amazing. This is just amazing journey, brothers and sisters. And then after that, you go home after perform Tawaf al-Ifada. And Tawaf al-Wida is the last rite for Hajj. There's no Sa'i. Menstruating women may leave. Hajj is done. On your way back, cloud 9.
The time of Jamarat. Is it
after Zawal?
All 3 days?
Yes. Yes. No, on the first day and the 10th, you throw from the morning, any time from the morning, when you come from Mina.
Yeah.
When you throw only the one Jamarat, it's from the morning time. And this is cloud 9. You have to be on cloud 9. This is taken from the aeroplane. Now you're Hajji. What did I say? You need to remind me? Story. Okay, any questions before I tell you the story? I know that was very quick because they told me to finish up a bit early. I have some pocket guides here that I pushed in my bag this morning. Sure.
Instead of staying behind in Makkah for 1 week after the day of Hajj completed, you still do your Tawaf al-Ifada within the 6 days.
No.
And your Wida before you leave.
Yes. Yes. Tawaf al-Wida is called the farewell Tawaf.
It is the Ifada is the one. Like
Ifada.
So you can combine the Ifada.
Yeah, don't combine it if you don't have to. Only if you really do.
But if you're there for that whole week
Do
after,
Ifada?
doing your Ifada at the end as well.
No.
You don't do that like
No.
on the one day.
Now get it done because it's a pillar of Hajj. It's a pillar of Hajj. You need to get it done. You could get sick or something could happen and you haven't completed it. So you get it done straight away.
It has to be done in those 6 days, or it's best to do it in those 6 days.
The best day to do is on the 10th. And then any time as soon as possible after that. Don't delay it. There's no end time for it. It has to be done. Any questions, sisters? No? We've got a quiet bunch today.
The issue of taking a camera
Okay, the camera, in the past, the cameras, they used to be really strict with the cameras. Now, it's free for all. Everybody's taking photos, videos. Guys are walking like this, tawaf, like this. Video cameras, it's everywhere. It's actually a nightmare. Wallah, I tell you now, during Umrah, I saw a man praying. The mobile rings, he picks it up, he answers, he talks on it, he puts it back and continues. I saw that with my own eyes. That's how bad it's can become.
The second question I have is, whether it be Medina or Mecca, if you want to get a good spot for Salah, how many hours should you be planning to get to?
At least 1 hour.
Even an hour is to get to the bottom left, right?
And so after a while you get to where you can maneuver your way fairly quickly. If you're by yourself, it's fairly easy. You just know the tricks how to get in which door, and you can get yourself down to the bottom. Sometimes some of us who know a lot of the tricks, we can actually get there like in 15 minutes before Salah. Because what happens, people are sitting down, and you just stand around, and as soon as the Iqamah goes, you move.
Another thing, what I found that the picture of, to take the picture of the
Kaaba.
That Mazar Rasulullah.
Kaaba, yeah.
Is not allowed.
Yeah, they don't let you take pictures there. At the Kaaba, the guys are walking with their phones. What they do is, as you're walking past, they're walking with their phones, and they are recording it as they're walking past them. Everywhere, the phones are everywhere. Phones are everywhere. Alright, if there's no questions, brothers and sisters, let me just finish up for you to put the whole story and the whole journey for you in perspective. Last year during our trip, we were walking to the Jamarat. The whole group of us, we were walking towards the Jamarat. And as we were walking to the Jamarat, there was a group of people that was crowding around, and a man had fallen down. So, and they were shouting, "Can we have a doctor? Can we have a doctor?" So we had 2 doctors with us. So we asked the doctor. We said, "Doctor, they're looking for a doctor to help." So the doctor came there. The doctor bent down. He looked at him. He turned around to us and he said, "Sisters, yalla, go. Everybody, just go. We'll get you down there. Just go. I don't want anybody to stop. Just go." Right? So now this is the doctor narrating the story. So what happened was the brother was laying on the ground and he had a heart attack. So the doctor, by the time the doctors got to him, he had already died. So his wife was there, the doctor, and the brother's laying there. So the doctor says, he looks at the wife and he says to the wife, "Look, he's passed away," and he's trying to calm her down. And she didn't do anything. She just looked at him and looked at the husband, and they were on their way to the Jamarat. So what she did was, his hand was closed. So she opened his hand and took the stones out of his hand. The wife. In a gesture that, "I will throw the stones for you." Now imagine, we worry about all our dunya things, and this is the sister. She didn't cry at all. She didn't react and everything. She just took the stones from his hand and closed his hand and took that just to say, like, the doctor said you could tell from her that's what she was going to do for him. And the doctors just looked at her in her amazement, and she just got up and they continued to go. So that is putting your entire life into perspective. For us, when the doctor was explaining that just makes us realize how fickle we are about things and the things we argue. After that, nobody ever argued about anything anymore, because it just made you feel like, and when people talked about their wives and their husbands, that she was going home by herself. But wallahi, what a place to die. The best place to die. During Hajj. If you finish with Hajj, the best time to die. She's sad, but what does she know? If her husband is probably gone to Jannah, may Allah give him that. So always keep that in perspective, brothers. And when we are on Arafah, please, if you look at the scenes in Somalia, if you just look at the scenes in Syria, the government is killing all the Sunni. They are taking the Sunni suburbs. Our brothers and our sisters in Libya are dying. If you look at the children in Somalia, do you see those people complaining at all? Do you see the mothers who are standing there with the children complaining at all? Take the opportunity when you go for Hajj this year, brothers and sisters, to pray for our Muslim brethren and give thanks to Allah for the life that we have here, and for Allah to protect us from such a hardship. Jazakallah khair. Wa akhiru da'wa min alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. We'll see you, brothers and sisters, in Makkah, inshallah.